This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. Since 2019, radiopharmaceutical company Spectron RX has grown from a staff of 6 to 175 in Indianapolis. CEO John Zahner says the company's therapies provide targeted radiation treatment for cancers instead of traditional radiation, which can damage healthy tissue.
What happens is you'll take radioactivity, attach it to something that will drag the radioactivity to the tumor, and then the radioactivity is very precise. It's right at that tumor, and so it only destroys the cells at that tumor or near that tumor.
Spectron RX says dozens of its drugs are nearing approval, and the company has inked 5 new partnerships over the last 3 months. Almost 3 months after closing its doors in Whiting, the Mascot Hall of Fame is looking for a new physical location, and it has received interest from sites in and out of Indiana. Founder David Raymond told our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana he's received pitches from Fair Oaks Farms in Jasper County, the NCAA Hall of Champions in Indianapolis, as well as sites in Philadelphia. However, he noted he is in no rush to open a new location and wants to find the right public and private partners to make it happen. The Hogsett administration plans for Indianapolis to acquire a 1-acre parking lot across from the Julia M. Carson Transit Center as part of an ongoing effort to bolster the Market East district in the city's downtown. The city expects to spend up to $4.76 million to buy the 80-space parking lot, which is expected to play a significant role in the city's effort to build a new soccer stadium downtown. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
A Florida-based realty company cannot advertise or offer services in Indiana for at least 5 years as part of a consent judgment that satisfies a lawsuit filed by the Office of Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita.
Per the Attorney General's office in September of last year, a complaint was filed against MV Realty of Indiana, MV Realty Holdings, and various parties connected to it for allegedly conducting an aggressive and illegal robocalling and telemarketing operation targeting homeowners in Indiana. The realty company reportedly offered homeowners cash payments in exchange for, quote, a future interest in the sale of the homeowner's real property. But those agreements were just disguised extensions of credit with implicit interest that would be paid back by the homeowner at a later date, the suit said. In a press release on Monday, Rokita said that the company unfairly locked residents into broker services contracts for a term of 40 years in exchange for modest upfront cash payments. These contracts were filed in the homeowner's chain of title in county recorder offices, which made it difficult for homeowners who wanted to refinance or get second mortgages. As part of the consent judgment, the defendants agreed to file a release of all homeowner benefit agreements within 30 days, impacting more than 300 homeowners in the state. The company must also relinquish all rights to the agreements, deeming them void and unenforceable, and MV Realty cannot advertise or offer services as real estate brokers or broker companies in Indiana for at least 5 years. Attorneys representing MV Realty did not respond to Indiana lawyers' request for comment. I'm Marek Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The South Shore Line in northern Indiana has secured a shorter route into South Bend International Airport, but time is running out to get federal funding to build it. Currently, trains head slightly past the airport and then circle back to approach the terminal from the east. After almost 3 years of negotiations, the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District and the Airport Authority have finalized an agreement letting the railroad acquire an easement to the airport's west side. President Mike Nolan has previously estimated that moving the South Shore Line to the west side of the airport would save 12 to 15 minutes for every train traveling to and from Chicago. However, he said the railroad must act quickly to take advantage of dwindling funding from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act to support the project. Girl Scouts of Central Indiana CEO Danielle Shockey is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio On Demand.